The land of the Vikings is back on the big stage for the first time since 1998. But Norway, who as a national team often fly under the radar, have become everyone's must-watch darling. And that is down to their superstar striker, their towering leader up front, or as the Vikings would say, their Jarl, who is ready to lead them on their next North American raid deep into the tournament. Welcome to Kickback Soccer Media's World Cup Capsules, where you'll learn everything you need to know about all 48 of the national teams competing at the 2026 World Cup. From the history of the game, the nation's current World Cup trajectory, unsung heroes, and cultural moments. I'm David Goss, and today we are talking about Norway. Like we mentioned, Norway is a country rich in Viking history, and it has its own modern-day Viking and unquestioned superstar in Erling Haaland. Standing a towering 6'5", Haaland is known for his ruthlessness, his robot-like intensity, and his goal-scoring efficiency, which has earned him the nickname the Terminator. At just 25 years old, he's already Norway's leading goal scorer, and he is 18 goals ahead of the second place atop the all-time goal-scoring list with 51 goals in 46 caps. Haaland is the star striker for his club team Manchester City as well, where he's won the Premier League Golden Boot twice. He's been City's top scorer 3 of the past 4 seasons and been named to any All-Star or Best 11 you could possibly think of. The current fate of the national team sits on Haaland's massive shoulders, but it's a burden that he seems happy to carry, loving the big moment. Along with Haaland, Norway have midfielder Martin Ødegaard, who captains both the national team and his club at Arsenal and is known as one of the best leaders in the modern game. A passing wizard with incredible vision, Ødegaard can be a bit injury-prone, so his health will be a huge factor heading into next summer. But if Ødegaard stays fit and Haaland stays hot, watch out for this team. The first formal football team likely founded in Norway was in 1885, but there was little interest, so it was short-lived. In 1894, Odd Greenland, a multi-sport club that had been founded 9 years previous, opened a soccer department which stuck, making it the oldest football club in Norway. The Norwegian Football Federation was founded in 1902 and created the Norwegian Cup, which at the time was invite-only, eventually opening up to more teams in the next few years. But until the Norwegian League started in 1937, it was the only national competition. National in quotations, as it was only open to southern teams until 1963. Every final from 1948 on has been played at the Ullevål Stadion, the national stadium, and the trophy is still awarded by the king. Oddly enough, the winner of the cup is considered the Norwegian champion, not the winner of the First Division League. The top division, the Elite Serien, only became fully professional, get this, in 1992. Rosenborg are the giants with 26 league titles. Second is Fredrikstad with 9. 2010, Rosenborg had the only perfect season, and of the 12 times a Norwegian club has made the UEFA Champions League group stage, or subsequently what it is now called, Rosenborg has 11 of those appearances. But Bodo Glimt in the Arctic Circle have made the Europa League semifinal last season and have become the global darlings. Their 81 points in 2020 are the top mark ever in league history. In that Europa League semifinal, they played at Tottenham, whose 62,000 person capacity stadium would be larger than Bodo's 55,000 population of their city. The schedule in Norway runs from March to November due to, of course, the crazy weather in the winter, so it's tough for them to compete in European competitions because their time off enters directly into the European knockout stages. On the national team side of things, Norway joined FIFA in 1908, played its first friendly, and lost big to Sweden 11-3. Then, in 1911, they hosted their first ever international in Oslo, a 4-0 loss to Sweden again. They then played in the 1912 Olympics, losing both games, and they went on to win their lone Olympic medal at the 1936 Games, earning a bronze. Norway qualified for its first World Cup in 1938, losing to eventual champions Italy. They wouldn't see the World Cup stage again until 1994, where they exited in the group stage, but not for lack of trying. They beat Mexico, lost to Italy, then drew Ireland. but all 4 teams finished on 4 points and the exact same goal differential, the only time that has happened at a World Cup. And it was only because of a goals scored differential, Norway only had scored 1 goal, that the Norwegians were sent packing. In 1998, the last time they were at the World Cup, Norway got out of the group by beating Brazil 2-1 and drawing Morocco and Scotland before bowing out to Italy in the round of 16. Norway have faced Italy at all 3 World Cups they've competed in. They got their revenge in qualifying this year with 2 wins over Italy on the road to the 2026 World Cup, and we are still waiting to see if Italy will even qualify for this tournament. This is by far the best run in the country's history. When we do this podcast again in 20 years, we will be talking about now as the golden age in Norwegian soccer. Norway hired former playing legend Ståle Solbakken in 2020, who had 58 caps in his career and went on to manage in the Bundesliga, EPL, and with his former club, FC Copenhagen. He has worked for years to drill the team, and there have been complaints that he has tried to turn this team into more of a club style than national team. And those complaints had been fair over the last 4 years as they struggled to get results. October of 2024, after losing 5-1 to Austria, they beat Slovenia and Kazakhstan to close out their Nations League on top of their League B group. And that's when things felt like they started to click. Quote, that was when the players finally understood what Ståle Solbakken wanted. Former goalkeeper Erik Thorstvedt said, those scenes at the stadium when Norway won the Nations League group, you could feel right then that something new was happening. It may only have been the Nations League, and the prize was simply promotion to League A, but it meant something. This was the start of an 11-game winning streak that went through World Cup qualifying. The 3-0 win over Italy at the start of qualifying, and then the 4-1 win to finally clinch on the final match. They beat Israel 5-0, after which their coach said, alongside Spain, Norway are one of the 2 best teams in all of Europe. They smashed Moldova 11-1, beat Estonia 4-1, and the stats back it up. Not only have Norway scored more goals, 37, and assists 29 than any other European side in qualifying with an XG of 24.7. They've also conceded just 5 in 8 matches, a defensive record that once seemed implausible for a team lacking an established goalkeeper and fielding a backline assembled more through necessity than design. He slowly built this revival patiently, layer by layer. Quote, the key is that I've been able to work with a group that has grown increasingly comfortable with the way we want to play football, he says. Perhaps I was a bit too ambitious at the start, but I realized with the players available and those coming through, we needed to adopt a more front foot style. In other words, to feel confident, imposing a more attacking approach even against the traditionally stronger nations. Some of the biggest reasons for this success have been the team gelling into this coach's zonal marking system and ball progression style. It's been Ødegaard elevating at Arsenal into a world-class attacker, of course. It's been winger Antonio Nusa finding his best form when playing with Norway and partnering Oscar Bob. The 2 of them have helped turn Norway into the top 1v1 attacking team in all of UEFA. It's been center mid Sander Berg finding his form again and playing second fiddle in the central area to Ødegaard. But of course, it has been Haaland, turning all of that into an insane goal rate of 16 goals in 8 games, aka anything you do, if it's okay, if you set up any half chance, he is going to bury it. Ødegaard, of course, suffered an injury towards the end of qualifying, but to show what this group is, he still came to the Norwegian squad. They supported him, he supported them on their road, and then there was a massive rally to celebrate the team in Oslo after they finally qualified. Norway has some great young talent, emerging talent, including 20-year-old RB Leipzig midfielder Antonio Nusa. The left winger has drawn comparisons to Neymar for his ability to create chaos in the midfield and for his speed and pace. He started his career with Norway's Stabæk before moving to Club Brugge, which led to his breakout. He joined Leipzig in 2024. He scored the winner versus Bochum coming off the bench in his debut. He became the 2nd youngest player to score in a Champions League game. And as I mentioned before, his opposite flank is occupied by 22-year-old winger Oscar Bob of Manchester City. He's been one of the best attackers for Norway as he finds his feet at the club level. Although now is the country's big moment with stars like Haaland and Ødegaard, there has been several big names who have laid the foundation for Norwegian soccer, including Jon Arne Riise. He has the most caps in Norway history with 110 and is best known for his time at Liverpool, where he contributed in big games for the Reds. His cross to Steven Gerrard opened the scoring in the legendary 2005 Champions League final versus AC Milan, and he scored an absolute screamer against Manchester United in 2001, becoming known as the Riise Rocket. The shot was clocked at over 70 miles per hour. He also had long spells at Roma, Fulham, and Apoel. Riise apparently would prepare for big matches by binging TV shows the night before. Before the 2005 Champions League final, he watched the show 24, so it helped him connect to Gerrard on that cross, but he was also the only Liverpool player to miss his penalty. So you got to think Jack Bauer would have been impressed a little bit, but as that clock ticked down, he would have been let down by Jon Arne Riise. While it may not be the most soccer-mad country in the world, Norway has its own unique soccer culture that feels very Norwegian. It combines history, national pride, and the outdoors. Two examples. On May 16th every year, the day before Constitution Day, every pro team plays. Normally, it's against their closest regional rival, their biggest rival. And it is the biggest crowd of the year, every year across the divisions from top down. Another truly Norwegian thing is in the far north, in Hengensfire. It's a town with just 428 inhabitants on the island of Ostagavoy. In the town is the Hengensfire Stadium, a pitch on the most southern point of the island surrounded by rocks. It's not far from the North Pole with a wonderful view of the Norwegian Sea. It's without a doubt one of the most photogenic grounds in the world. Norway has found a way to turn the sport into something that is extremely Norwegian in their own way. And that you can see with these fields littered all around the most gorgeous but insane terrain. Norway have been drawn into Group I with Senegal, France, and a yet-to-be-determined intercontinental playoff qualifier. This is one of the most entertaining groups at the World Cup, and this does feel like Norway's moment. Haaland has always been one to deliver in the biggest games and the biggest moments. It is, of course, going to be headlined in the group stage in their final game in Boston against France. Mbappe against Haaland on the biggest stage. But Senegal are no pushover as we still wait to see the other team, and Norway will be under the bright lights. They are considered by many the dark horse to go deep in this tournament. They'll be playing at MetLife Stadium, the home of the final, and of course in Boston, two of the biggest cities in America. But there's so much hope for this Norway team as they've become this cohesive squad capable of these explosive moments. I think a round of 16 should be reasonable, and anything past that wouldn't shock me. Quarterfinals and maybe even a dark horse semifinal run. Your fun fact to close you out on, as we do on all these shows, according to the Happiness Research Institute, Norway is the second happiest country on Earth, only beaten by Finland. Well, that's it for our Norway podcast, but it doesn't have to stop here. We have one of these episodes about every single nation that has qualified for the 2026 World Cup. So go to Kickback 26 anywhere you get your podcast. Follow us on social media at First Touch and Kickback Media as well. Thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon.